The moment Commander Alex Reese stepped off the shuttle onto Virelia 9, he regretted not bringing a translator implant upgrade. The alien delegation awaiting him stood tall and regal, shimmering under the violet suns, but the girl staring at him with her luminous green eyes didn't look regal. She looked confused. Or horrified. Possibly both. "Greetings, Commander Reese," boomed the voice of their ambassador through a crude translator orb. "We appreciate the Earth Alliance's cooperation in cultural exchange." Alex nodded politely, eyes darting back to the alien girl beside the ambassador. She had taken a step back, her blue skin slightly flushed to a purple hue. Her gaze flicked between Alex and the small silver container he was holding, his lunch. "Wait," she said slowly in halting Terran, her voice melodic yet tight with disbelief. "You put that inside what?" Alex blinked. "Excuse me." She pointed, horrified, at the plastic tube sticking out of the metal container. "A straw." He was sipping iced coffee. "That tube," she stammered, turning to the ambassador in rapid-fire Virelian. The ambassador responded calmly, but Alex caught the universal tone of calm down common across species. Alex cleared his throat. "It's just a straw." "A what?" she demanded, arms crossed over her chest. "Why would you insert foreign objects into your nourishment? That violates every principle of respectful consumption." Alex tried not to laugh. "It's a tool. Helps me drink." The girl squinted at the container, as if it might detonate. Her name was Zirella of the Vietari, and she had just been assigned as Alex's cultural liaison during his 6-week stay. It was a big deal, the first prolonged human presence on Virelia 9. Their planet had remained reclusive for decades, their customs a mystery. Earth's best diplomat, Alex, had been chosen for his adaptability. He was beginning to think they'd chosen the wrong guy. By day 3, he'd learned that. On Virelia 9, food is never pierced, cut, or sucked. You must never point with your index finger, a gesture of mating invitation. Compliments on someone's attire were an offer to trade outfits. On day 4, Zirella caught him chewing gum and nearly fainted. "You chew it." "Over and over," she gasped, peering into his mouth like it held a black hole. "It's flavored rubber. I don't swallow it." "Even worse. You savor it and then spit it out. How is this sacred to your people?" Alex tried to explain that gum wasn't sacred, just a habit. That only seemed to make things worse. Zirella was tall, graceful, and razor-intelligent, but also rigid, proper, and utterly mystified by human customs. Each day, they were assigned to explore one another's cultures, share traditions, and document findings for their respective governments. So far, it had been a circus. By the second week, their awkward partnership had developed a rhythm. She no longer gasped every time he used a fork. He no longer recoiled when she drank a gelatinous fluid with her hands clasped around her eyes, a symbol of inner sight and nourishment. One evening, they sat on a high balcony overlooking the crystalline canyons of Virelia. The skies shimmered with bioluminescent streaks as creatures glided through the twilight. "Your customs, they are not as revolting as I first believed," Zirella said, sipping her eye-cupped drink. Alex grinned. "Glad to hear it. I've been trying hard not to offend you every minute." She tilted her head. "You do still commit many offenses. But I have recalibrated my outrage." High praise. There was a long pause. Then she leaned closer. "I have a question about a certain Terran ritual I found in your cultural database." "Oh boy. Hit me." "Why do humans place small spherical stones into their, what is the term, socks and gift them to each other during holiday Mars?" Alex blinked, then burst into laughter. "You mean Christmas? Those are not stones. They're candy. Chocolate." "You Put dessert rocks in your foot garments and exchange them? This is considered affection. Okay, when you put it like that, it sounds worse than it is. She looked genuinely fascinated now. Your species is delightfully absurd. By the third week, something changed. The laughter lingered longer. The silences became more comfortable. One night, Alex was invited to a formal Virelian ceremony. He wore their traditional silk-like robe, which left one arm and part of the chest exposed, a symbol of vulnerability and honesty. Xyrella stood beside him in an elegant gown of living threads that shimmered with her breath. As they stepped into the ceremonial chamber, she leaned toward him and whispered, "Do not stare at the mirrors. They reveal uninvited truths." Uninvited truths. Reflections of thoughts you do not wish to face. Great, Alex thought. Alien-haunted mirrors. The ceremony was hypnotic. Music made from wind-bending crystals, dancers who moved like smoke, and a strange incantation involving glowing stones placed in bowls of water. Each participant was meant to drop a stone in and speak a secret. When Alex stepped forward, the room fell silent. He hesitated, holding the glowing stone. "I don't always feel as confident as I pretend to be," he admitted, and dropped it into the water. There was a ripple, then silence. Xyrella watched him, eyes unreadable. Later, as they walked back through the crystal gardens, she said softly, "I would never have guessed. You carry yourself like a starship that fears no gravity." Alex chuckled. Even starships need repairs. She looked at him, her hand brushing his. Just barely. It was during week 5 when disaster struck. A Virelian child, curious and mischievous, got into Alex's quarters and discovered his portable speaker. Not understanding its function, the child stuffed it into the planetary irrigation conduit, a sacred system of water purification that the Vietari worshipped as a divine vein. The device caused a blockage, setting off an ecological alarm. The purification system began to malfunction. The council was furious. "Your technology has defiled a holy channel," the ambassador spat. This was a breach of trust. Alex was horrified. "I didn't even know the kid was in my room. I'll fix this. I swear." "You cannot undo what is done." But Xyrella stepped forward. "Let him try." The council hesitated, then relented. Alex worked around the clock with Virelian engineers to build a modified probe that could retrieve the speaker and cleanse the system without causing further damage. It took 3 days and sleepless nights. Finally, with a small drone and a tethered guide, they retrieved the offending speaker. The water began to flow normally again. The system reset. When the council reconvened, the ambassador spoke solemnly. "You have honored your mistake with action. This is acceptable." Xyrella's smile that day was brighter than the twin suns. On the eve of his departure, Alex and Xyrella sat on the same balcony where they'd first learned to laugh together. "You never told me what you thought the first time you saw me," he said. "I thought you were going to poison yourself with that straw," she said seriously, then smiled. "And that your kind was too strange to survive. And now?" She looked at him for a long time. "Now, I wonder if strangeness is the very thing I crave." He reached into his bag and pulled something out, a gift-wrapped object. She unwrapped it cautiously. Inside was a small glass bottle filled with cold brew coffee and a sealed straw. Next to it, a tiny box of gum. Xyrella stared. Then laughed.